What's up guys, I'm here in Boston and they have rocking chairs. I'm going to show you as much as I can. I have about an hour, so let's see what we can see. Let me start off by saying this airport is massive, but the good thing is most of the terminals do connect. It's just Terminal A, which is a separate terminal that's mostly international, so you don't need to worry about that. But for your reference, you can get into all the different terminals, so it's pretty easy to go back and forth from gate to gate. Generally speaking, I would say that it takes about 20 minutes to walk from terminal to terminal, and each one is a little bit weird because you're walking through security here as you walk through terminal to the next terminal. So don't get scared. This is normal. It's going to happen to you all the time. Just walk past security and don't exit security. Stay within the airport. And if you get nervous, you can always check the sign here and it'll tell you just how far it is to get to your gate. If you have some time to kill, there are plenty of souvenirs to get at this airport. There are really cool stuff, actually. They've got a mix of Boston gear. There's like sports gear. They've got like lobster stuff. Basically anything you could think of, they have. They've got candy, all kinds of stuff for you to bring back home. So if you didn't find your ideal souvenir while you're out shopping around Boston, it's probably at the airport and you'll be able to find it there. They also have a number of gift shops, and since, you know, Stephen King is from this area, a lot of them are showcasing Stephen King, so I thought that was pretty cool. My first flight when I arrived was pretty late at night. I want to say I got in at 10:30, so the majority of things were closing. But if you stick around to the second part of this video, I'll do what it's like to depart from Boston Airport. Otherwise, this is when I arrived in Boston International Airport. And I'll also show you what it's like when you return the car. Good news is the car return is actually at the airport, so you don't need to take a shuttle to get back to the airport or anything. However, when you arrive, you do need to take a terminal bus to get to the car rental pickup area. It's all pretty quick and easy. I'll show you that at the end of the video if you stick around to the end. Honestly, the shopping here goes on and on. They've got a number of Starbucks, a number of restaurants, and a number of shops, as you can see. So stick with me and I'll give you a tour of each of the terminals except for Terminal A. This one's for people with families. There are a number of kid play zones, which I thought was really cool. They're kind of Dr. Seuss themed or Curious George. There's a bunch of different stuff in there. So I did want to point that out, that there are a number of kid play areas if you're nervous about entertaining your kids. Boston Logan Airport does a great job of entertaining everyone though, because each terminal has a different theme. So Terminal E celebrates 100 years of history. So as you're walking around, you're going to see a ton of memorabilia that represents Boston and the different historical events that have happened in Boston's history. You'll see a recurring theme with every terminal is they have some awesome areas for you to sit down, and the chairs are really comfortable. They're like cushiony, they're loungy, they've got cup holders, they all have places for you to charge your phone and things like that. But you'll see throughout the video, they have a number of areas for you to sit and lounge. So it's not like you're always sitting just in that airport terminal chair. You can sit at these high tops, which all have a history of Boston on the Sunday news, that sort of stuff. You can walk around and read the walls. There's different like modern art chairs, but you'll see it as I go through the video. I like that Terminal E had this little like lounge area right next to the Starbucks. So you could have a Starbucks and still get some work done, but also like lounge. I don't know, the chairs looked really fun too. It was just nice to see these pops of color in Terminal E. I also had no idea that some of these things were created in Boston, so that was really cool to walk through and read all the history that Boston has to offer. I mean, did you know that the smiley face was invented in Boston? If you did, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, let me know in the comments. But like, the smiley face was invented in Boston. What a cool thing, and I wouldn't have known unless I walked through the airport. Moving on to Terminal C, I thought this one was really cool because they talk all about Boston's music history. So as you walk through, you'll hear really cool music as well. And when you land in this airport, you definitely know you're in Boston because as soon as you hit the other side of the security line, you're going to smell nothing but seafood. There are oyster shops here. There is seafood shops everywhere. Everything is seafood, seafood, seafood in this airport. So if you didn't get a chance to get that lobster roll, you still got time. The airport surely has it somewhere. I wanted to point this out also, if you're coming from Terminal C, if you're going to Terminal E, you're going to walk down this hallway here with the rocking chairs. It gets a little confusing because it looks like you might have to exit right there, but you actually don't. You go around the corner there, so I wanted to point that out really quick. As you're walking around Boston too, you're going to see some really interesting airlines. I had never heard of half the airlines that I saw while I was walking, so that was really cool too. If you have the time, come over to Terminal C because this Boston market area has some amazing food in there. It was closing when I was there, but dude, the food looked amazing in there. And as I said before, the whole terminal is kind of scattered with music history, so you're going to see it along the walls, along the places you sit. They even have this little lounge area that's playing music like right around the corner here. I also started to think Terminal C maybe was my favorite because look at all this cool seating that they have available here, and there was really nobody there. And some of these loungy seats are like so cool, especially if you're stuck for hours at the terminal for some reason. Like imagine just sitting in one of these chairs and reading. I don't know. Terminal C is becoming my favorite so far. And by the way, these cool chairs are over by C24. Moving on over to Terminal B, this one is filled with Boston sports history, and guys, I had no idea that Boston won so much. They have so much history here. That was really cool to go through and read everything. And this was really cool seating over here. These lounge chairs kind of blew all the other lounge chairs out of the water. So I think Terminal B was probably my favorite. I don't know, it's a close between like Terminal B and Terminal C, but Terminal B did have a lot of TVs that had sports on. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that just happened to be what had happened, but I like the whole sports theme of the terminal. They also had a rowboat on the ceiling, which I thought was really cool. I didn't recognize any of the names of these restaurants in their food court, but they did look pretty good as well. And again, the seating over here is really cool. There's plenty of spots to charge your phone and stuff. And I was just kind of like Terminal B, becoming my favorite very quickly. And if you head over here near the Cisco Brewers area, there's this really cool artwork. It's like an under the sea theme. I don't know if it's here all the time, but I was lucky enough to be there and check it out. I did see a lot of metal sculptures throughout all of Boston, so that was cool to see what artist it was that made all these sculptures. So definitely check this out because look at this fish. And that's over by B36. I also feel like Terminal B had the most food and shopping options out of all three terminals. So just keep that in mind. Like they had Legal Seafoods, which I know is a big chain in the area. And all the sports stuff I'm about to show you, that took a lot of time while I was waiting to meet up with my other family members. So I was really appreciative for that they had things to entertain me a lot in this terminal. I was a big fan of these colored light fixtures. They had yellow ones, green, blue, they were all over the place. And if you guys have been following me, you know I'm a sucker for a photo opportunity, so this was really cool to take photos with these guys. They also had Sam Adams over in this terminal, so come on over, get your Boston lager if you have the time. Otherwise, this airport is such high traffic. There are just planes going up in the sky, landing, everything. So that's entertaining on its own to watch all the planes going around. All right, guys, for the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about car rentals. So let's get right into it. Once you walk through baggage claim, you're going to exit onto the main strip. And there are a number of buses that are going to be coming past you with different routes. Like some of them go to the subway to go into Boston proper. Some of them go to the car rental. Here's an idea of the bus routes to give you an idea of how they go around. Some of them just go terminal to terminal. But on the way to the car rental, it's super easy. You just get off at the car rental station and go right to your provider. And the car is just going to be waiting for you. It's really that easy. On the way back, it's a little more confusing. So on the way back, there's a couple different levels. You're gonna wanna go down to the bottom level. This is where the buses are running, and they will take you right to your terminal and drop you right off at your terminal gate. The car return is located right at the airport, so that was super convenient to just drop the car, check in, and then head right over to the terminal. But as you saw, most of the routes do go to the terminals, so that should be pretty easy for you to just jump on most of them, and you just jump right on, put your luggage on the luggage rack, and get off at your desired terminal. So on the way back, my flight was out of Terminal B, so I got off at Terminal B and then just headed on up to security. I didn't need to check any bags or anything, but at that time, there wasn't really many lines at all. So we headed straight over to security, and I thought this little plane on the ground was kind of fun, so wanted to show you guys. So you're going to walk past all the different airlines, and that's going to take you over to security. And you'll see there was really no line over there, so we just walked right through. It was super easy. And the only confusing part is, as I showed you at the beginning of the video, it kind of spits you out in this weird spot. So if you do need to transfer terminals, it gets a little confusing when you're walking through the security area as well. But hopefully I put your mind at ease and showed you kind of what it's like here in Boston Airport. In this part, I'll just show you what it's like during the day now that I was here during the daytime. But at the end of the day, yes, it is a huge, intimidating airport, but you're gonna catch your flight. You're not gonna be late. It's not like you're gonna be running a half an hour to get to your gate. If anything, hopefully it would only be like a 20-minute walk, as I showed you before. So I hope I put your mind at ease. And for those of you that always ask me to show the bathroom, here's what the bathroom looks like in Boston. And I will see you in the next video, because this is the one that YouTube thinks you should watch the most. See you there.